Let's talk about the rappers for a minute. Can we talk about the rappers for a moment? Let's talk about Tupac Shakur for a moment. Tupac Shakur is a child of the 60s. Tupac Shakur, born out of the spirit of the revolution of the 60s. Tupac Shakur, fire in his bones, boldness and rebellion in his blood. Born from his beautiful, bold Black Panther mama, Afeni, sitting in the jail cell, a revolutionary woman carrying the fruit of life, marking the child in her womb, marking the child with rebellion, marking the child with insurrection, marking the child with a spirit to not go along with what's been going on.
Beat me, Young G, with a gift to gab.
Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party.
Panther power! Panther power! One nation in our Panther power!
Everything you do.
Only Gab can do it like this.
Yo, YouTube, what up? It's your homie Gab, I'm in the building. And this is Machiavelli Media. Now, I was kind of hesitant before I put out this video because I wanted to give you guys time to actually watch the movie. I didn't want to spoil it for you. And the movie that I'm talking about today is Judas and the Black Messiah. I think it's an excellent film. I really enjoyed it. I watched it multiple times now. You know, the movie is directed by up-and-coming director Shaka King. It's produced by Ryan Coogler. Many of you may know him from his work with Creed and more recently, the blockbuster film, The Black Panther. It stars Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton, Keith Stanfield as William O'Neill, and Martin Sheen as J. Edgar Hoover. Great movie. Sensational. A+ across the board, in my opinion. But when I watched this movie, all I could think to myself is, this is what happened to Tupac. I mean, it was to the point where you could just swap out Fred Hampton and put Tupac there. And what happened to Tupac in life and Tupac in death was almost identical to what happened to Fred Hampton. And it all points back to J. Edgar Hoover. Now, some of you may not know that he was the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation at one point in time. I think from the 1920s up until the 1970s. And he also implemented the Cohen-Pintel Act. There was an organization that was formed to eradicate and eliminate the threat of a black messiah. Now, some people want to think that it was to create a black messiah. That's just idiotic. It was to eliminate a black messiah, in which that they considered the rise of a powerful black leader was more dangerous to America than any of its foreign enemies. More dangerous than China, more dangerous than Russia, right here on American soil. The fear of a black messiah. You know, they were scared that this black messiah may incite the revolution. He may spark his people to stand up and defend themselves. That was the biggest fear, that this guy might cause a chain reaction, and also could get the support from people that didn't look like him. The fear of this black leader rising is they fear a person that's charismatic, somebody that could galvanize the people, somebody that would have influence, not only over his people, but people of all colors that would make them want to follow him and not follow their order. You know, you have a charismatic figure like Tupac. People of all colors was following him, and his message did not coincide with what was the regular policy or day-to-day standards here in the United States. He was telling people to educate themselves, telling people to arm themselves. He spoke a lot of the things that Fred Hampton spoke because it was all based off Black Panther principles. Yes, Tupac's mother was a Black Panther. So he was Fred Hampton over some dope beats, giving a studio and a microphone. Same message. You know what separated Fred Hampton from Huey P. Newton or Bobby and the Black Panthers? Is that Fred had the gift of gab. He could talk. He could get people pumped up through his words. When Huey and Bobby was just more soldiers, you know, more authoritative figures that led by example. Fred Hampton could influence with his words. So could Tupac. They went through great lengths to destroy Fred Hampton. One of the things was they even put him in jail, and they thought that would ruin, you know, his placement in his community. But on the contrary, it backfired. It made Fred Hampton more popular, more valuable in the public eye. You look at Tupac. Tupac had a trumped up rape charge, was later, you know, placed in prison over touching of the buttocks. And while he was in jail, what happened? Oh, not much. Just Me Against the World became the #1 album in America. And when he got out of prison, his star power just blasted off into the hemisphere. So in this movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, a decision was made. Fred Hampton was actually going back to jail. And a decision was made, no, that wasn't good enough, because jail had only made his popularity grow. And they saw that it happened to other people in the past as well. So a conscious decision was made to actually murder Fred Hampton. And that's exactly what happened, in my opinion, to Tupac. Somebody said this guy gotta go. Prison didn't change him. Prison didn't hurt him. It didn't tarnish him in the media. The next best thing was he had to go. The bad part about it is, like in the movie, or like in countless other cases where I believe the same people or organizations were responsible for these murders, they always had inside help. There was always a presence of an informant or agent of some sort in these people's company at the event of their demise. Just think about it. I mean, Kevin Hackey told you himself that he was an agent when he was working at Death Row Records doing security for them. And nobody else knew it. This man said he was an agent. You know, when Tupac died, the Alphabet Boys admitted that they had Tupac under surveillance. They was following him the whole night. But yet, you can't arrest a killer? You don't know who did it when you following the man the whole night under surveillance? Come on now. No, it makes a lot of sense. It even makes more sense when you look at the movie. It's a scene in the movie in Judas and the Black Messiah where Fred Hampton was going to different organizations in the streets of Chicago, even gangs. He was trying to recruit them because they were already organized. So he figured if he could politicize them and put them all under the same belief, right, of, trying to empower their people and get, equality for their people and fight oppression for their people, that they would have, a greater chance of success because there's strength in numbers. Now pause for a minute. Ain't that what Tupac said he wanted to do? He wanted to politicize the Crips and the Bloods. He wanted to turn them into military minds. Ain't that what he said when he was on the phone with Monster Cody? He said he wanted to politicize these guys. Same thing. And when he came to this other group called the Crowns, the Alphabet Boys had already tried to start a beef with them. They wrote false literature, some letters, bad mouthing the other side, to put the two groups at odds. Because this beef, this friction. And if you look at the whole East-West Coast beef, Tupac kept telling you it wasn't no East-West beef, and Biggie was saying it wasn't no East-West beef. It makes you wonder how much influence could somebody else had in causing that whole beef. You know what they say about history, y'all? It always repeats itself. Man, watch the movie. Then you tell me. It's an excellent movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. I suggest you guys go watch it. For those of you that already saw it, please tell me what you think in the comments section. Don't forget to share and like this video. I'm your homie Gab. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm signing off. I'm about to hit y'all with the peace.